Hello, everyone. First of all, a warm welcome to all the hardworking professionals out there. Today is 1st of May, International Workers' Day. On this significant occasion, I thought of sharing some interesting insights with an introduction to the essentials of leadership when it comes to realizing organization synergy. You could be a frontline leader, middle leader, or a senior leader, or you're someone who is aspiring to take up some leadership roles. In this video, I'll be sharing 12 significant enablers which will act as a support system for you to successfully establish your team. Let's dive deep into it. So, the leadership essentials when it comes to realizing the team synergy. Let's talk about the different enablers that acts as a support system for us to establish this successfully. First and the foremost thing is we should be building a team. As a leader, without forming a team, we will not be able to deliver results. An organization doesn't exist without people, right? When I talk about team, it's not just the group of individuals who will be delivering the work. It is the 360-degree view of all key stakeholders, which covers the management, which covers the sponsors, the end customers, the stakeholders, and the core team who will be supporting in delivering the results. So to understand this dynamics, we as a leader should understand the composition of the team. The team is going to have a diverse mix of people and the resources. We may have some introverts, extroverts. We may have people from different educational background, cultural background, people with different belief system, age differences, gender differences, and whatnot. So as a leader, by understanding the team composition, we are able to build an effective team. The next enabler is we should be defining the ground rules. What do I mean by that? These are not strict rules or regulations that a leader will be imposing on the team. Definitely not. This is about clear agreements which is framed along with the team. These can be called as internal team norms, which a leader will be building along with the team. It could be in terms of fundamental values like being responsible, being transparent, establishing trust, maintaining ownership, collaborating with everyone, trying to solve problems. What and how aspects of the team dynamics will be listed as ground rules, and it can be displayed as an information radiator in a larger, visible manner where the teams operates. By that way, when everybody are going to be constantly looking into it, they exactly know what are the fundamental acceptable desired behavior of the team. The third enabler is you as a leader should be able to negotiate your boundaries. What do I mean by that? An organization will have a multiple mix of portfolios, programs, multiple projects, operations running. Understanding where you and your teams are fitting into this larger framework, and then ensuring that the boundaries are defined without shying away in terms of clarifying your boundaries with the leadership is a significant enabler for you as a leader to ensure that the team is operating with clarity. Now, the objective of this negotiation is not to create some frictions. It is to enable a win-win outcome with the larger organization, basically, with an end objective of building a long-lasting relationship with across everywhere. The fourth important enabler is empowerment. Empowerment is about the authority, sharing the authority with someone to do something. Empowered teams always produce great results. Now, as a leader, when you are acting and demonstrating the values of servant leadership by empowering the team to take up responsibilities, tasks, and delegation, we are able to ensure that the decisions that are made are collectively made by the team, a collaborative one. And there are some, when team local decisions are made, they are always empowered to come up with practical solutions. These decisions are not imposed by someone. Instead, these are collectively made by the team. By doing that way, we are ensuring that there is a larger commitment that is established by the team. The fifth enabler is ensuring there is adequate training provided to your team. As a leader, you're going to be constantly evaluating the business requirements and the skill sets of your team. By comparing these two, because one or the other is always going to change, right? So it's always essential for you to do this gap analysis and understand what are the additional skills, the new skills that your team need to acquire, and you, without shying away in terms of getting the adequate a training budget or buying the required time to train your team. By doing that way, we are measuring the effectiveness of the team in terms of they operating with the essential current skill sets, the effectiveness of the trainer for future training requirements, and it is always a constant check for us to ensure that we are not deviating from the requirements. The next enabler is about operating with a shared understanding. Imagine a situation that a customer is sharing the requirement to the product manager, who is translating the requirements to product owners, who in turn are converting the customer requirements into business and technical requirements and sharing it to the development teams. In this entire chain, if there is going to be a misunderstanding, there is going to be a large gap in terms of what the end customers are expecting versus what is being developed. So the same is applicable to the situation of you as a leader when you're operating with your team. If there is going to be a larger gap in the understanding of the organizational goals versus what your team's delivering, the results are going to mismatch. So it's pretty important that you constantly share the vision of the organization, the vision of your team, and the vision of the individuals in terms of providing them the goals, constantly communicating and over-communicating. You are able to establish that shared understanding. Moving on to the next enabler, it is all about conflicts. No organization exists without conflicts. No two brains are same. People operate with a difference of understanding, different conflicting opinions. All these are always going to be there. Now, you as a leader, understanding what is the source of the conflict, where is the conflict stemming from, is extremely important. In a team, either a new leader joins or a new team member joins, anytime, whenever there are going to be some changes in the team, there are always going to be conflicts. I'm sure all of us must be aware of the popular Tuckman's framework of team formation, that he talks about forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. So at any stages of these team development, there are going to be conflicts. Now, understanding those sources and coming up with a right strategy to resolve the conflict is a key enabler. Here, the recommended method is to collaborate and solve the problem. Neither win-lose, nor lose-win, nor lose-lose. You, as a leader, should identify all possible opportunities to make it as a win-win approach. What do I mean by that? There's different strategies might be applicable in different situations, but the most prominent one where we are trying to solve the problem by explaining why certain decisions are made in certain ways. By that way, the education is there, people understand the situation, and there are no challenges from the business perspective as well. The next important enabler is to lead your team. As a leader, you're going to be spending a vast majority of your time in leading your team. Here, setting a clear vision, mission, goals, and objectives to your teams, and constantly consider the diversity and inclusion factors while you work with your team in order to accomplish the expected results. At the same time, as we talked earlier, demonstrating the value of servant leadership by being available to solve the challenges that the team goes through. The leader will not be in the forefront. The leader will be operating at the backstage in terms of constantly observing, monitoring while the team is executing the results, and apply different leadership styles in different situations, which is broadly called as the situational leadership style. No one style is appropriate or is always recommended as the best approach. We need to have a conglomeration of mix of different leadership styles and apply it the required desired situation. Thereby, the team is constantly inspired, motivated, and influenced to deliver results. The next enabler is, as a leader, you will be supporting the team performance. After forming the team, training them, and they start delivering the results, it's time for you to measure the results by identifying the key performance indicators, which will help us understand where we are operating plan versus the actuals. So constantly identify those key parameters that are going to translate to the results expected by the customers. Thereby, you are conducting the appraisal for your teams, evaluating the performance, identifying the rewards and recognition methods, the areas that are important to mentor, coach, constantly provide that closed loop feedback to the team members so they are constantly motivated to deliver the expected results. The 10th enabler is about removing impediments. We already talked about the importance of servant leadership. Always, the teams are going to have some roadblocks when they wanted to deliver something. The roadblock could be coming within internally from the team, or it could come external from the team as well. But we as a leader have to identify the potential roadblocks which is stopping them in delivering the expected results and do all possible things to remove those critical impediments. The next important enabler is celebrating the success with the stakeholders. Now, the team is constantly delivering the expected results. We have created the required mechanisms to establish to identify the differences against what was planned versus actuals, and all that is done. The required motivations is done within the team. Now, the actual consumers of the business with whom we initially negotiated and created the goals and objectives and the teams have delivered, we have to deliver the results to them, and collaborate with them, understand whether their expectations are meeting. Thereby, we are establishing that closed loop feedback with the end customers and the team members hearing the actual feedback of the consumers with which their motivation level is going to go further up. So optimized alignment between the stakeholders is going to be another key enabler for us to be successful. And finally, we should be doing all of these with a strong emotional intelligence. As a leader, we should understand what is our own strengths and weakness before understanding the strengths and weakness of our teams. So, in short, manage yourself before you manage others. There are several popular techniques like MBTI, which will help you to identify the different personality types within your teams, your own personality type, so that you're operating at a level in which you are able to constantly keep your team motivated to deliver results. So these are the 12 different enablers which helps us to understand the essentials to realize the team's synergy. With that, I would like to conclude this overview for today. And anyone who is watching this video, please share your comments and feedback. You can share your experience of any of these enablers or anything beyond these enablers that has supported you, helped you in terms of realizing the team synergy. Also share your comments in terms of any other topics that you will be interested, where I will be more than happy to share my experience and knowledge. Thanks once again. I will see you in another video.